Real Talk Sports. We are at our, I believe, 7th show, if I am correct. Yeah, we're at number 7. This is Real Talk Sports 7, man. These shows rack up quick, man.
Too fast.
Extremely too fast. I'm trying to keep up in production. But we all good. We'll be back on the horse. Y'all get some of these back to back. You might have a little information that might be about a week old, but it's cool. Y'all was thinking about it last week and you didn't talk about it. So now when we talk about it, you can rehash it. That's the good thing about this stuff. It doesn't get old. Except sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
But for the most part, we got all the important shows out, like the finals and stuff of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
We got all that covered. So, I digress. Let me introduce the players. My main man, he's hailing in at 193 pounds, standing 6'1", fighting in the place of Muhammad Ali, Mr. Vinny Fernandez.
Man, I haven't been 190 pounds since about 8th grade, man.
Hey, man, it felt good.
Giving me too much credit.
It felt good.
Really? You're getting thinner.
And speaking of getting thinner, the next man, he has dropped from a heavyweight to a middleweight. Ladies and gentlemen, Luis Fernandez.
And I'm still not getting any play, ladies. Come on, man. You know, I mean,
He's working over here, ladies.
I mean, it's not like I'm gonna follow through on it or anything, but you know, it's flattering, you know, and I'm not getting anything. I must be really homely.
Right. And I thought Lou is like lost a massive amount of weight, and I wish I could. I'm trying to. I've lost like 10, but you know, it's a slow walk.
You'll get there, man.
Right. I got a wedding next month. I'm trying to be at least somewhat in the old form. You know, the swag is always there, but you know, you'd like the picture to be a little good. I didn't like how I looked in the wedding pictures last year. But anyways, I'm Scott Baker. We're here at Real Talk Sportsman. We're going to cover a little NFL, MLB, and NBA because, again, this is the dead part of the year. You know, we'll start out with the weakest topic, MLB. Woo. We just had the All-Star game.
How about that All-Star game?
Nobody watched it.
Bud Selig came out with a little quote. You know, he said, "We were in the golden era of baseball," and sir, Bud Selig.
Ooh.
I think he's
senile.
I think he's facing some dementia at the moment.
The golden era.
Well, he owns the Brewers, so he might be, you know, taking in some of the brewskis himself.
He's taking in some brewskis at the Brewers Stadium.
Drinking the product.
He probably seen Babe Ruth walking through the tunnel.
He got to be senile, man. I mean, let's be real, man. Nobody actually said. I mean, how many people can name most of the players in that All-Star game? I mean, except for Derek Jeter and just.
That Trumbo cat really blew my mind, man, because I have no idea. I've never even heard of him. I thought he was I thought it was a drink or something. Like Trumbo, what the hell is that?
There are some players, man, who I've
never heard of them.
That's the fun thing about baseball, and everybody's a star.
Everybody's a star.
Everybody's a star. You think you got it one day, then all of a sudden you hear about this cat. Like, who? Who did you say? And usually he has a name of Dominican, Puerto Rican, or Spanish descent.
Venezuelan descent.
Right. Somewhere in that category. And please don't believe I'm lumping all you guys. I know every one of your nationalities hates that. So much respect. But
at least we didn't call y'all Mexican.
Right. You see, I didn't say that because I think that would piss people off more than anything. Oh, yeah, the Mexican guy. You're like, what? I'm Guatemalan. But I digress. So, yeah, the All-Star game, the NL.
NL basically shut out the AL. You know, the AL have been winning the last couple of years, but the NL came out strong. They won 8-0.
Pounded them.
Pounded them 8-0. The NL MVP of the All-Star game was Melky Cabrera of the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
Had a very good game. You know, there was a little drama in the game, though. You know, Melky Cabrera used to be on the Yankees.
Right.
You know, he had a nice little couple of hits, hit a homer, and, you know, had a couple of RBIs, and, you know, when he was rounding the bases, you know, he was looking for some love from old man Mr. Robinson Cano. And Robinson Cano showed no love. No love. No love of the type. And it's just a little bit of drama, you know, it made it interesting because obviously nobody really gave a hoot.
And, you know, speaking of nobody gives a hoot, shout out to my boy Prince Fielder. He did his thing, you know. He won, he's the home run man, you know. He's like his dad, you know. He's out there banging them. Nobody really cares. Nobody really shows the Tigers any love outside of him and Verlander, but it's cool.
Hey, man, speaking of Verlander, man, he got lit up in that All-Star game, man.
Hey, man.
1 inning, 5 earned runs.
Wow.
And you were an all-star, sir?
He went out the night before. He got caught up with them young ones. That's cool, though.
But there's a lot of good spots in Kansas City, man. Good barbecue.
Good barbecue. I actually want to go to Kansas City and try the authentic barbecue. You know, Kansas City style, St. Louis style. You know, I want to go to these places. Memphis, you know. When you think of great food, but I'm digressing, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about you. This will be a travel show.
Right, I think I'm just hungry, man. But anyways, yeah, that's been pretty much it. Anything going on with the Mets?
Oh man, of course the Mets had two all-stars. You know, we had David Wright, R.A. Dickey. Mr. Dickey, of course, is robbed of the starting NL pitching job, but it's all good. He got his innings and he did well.
I heard about that.
He played, you know, he did well. You know, so I'm not too angry about it.
Both Mets got robbed. Dickey got robbed the starting pitching position, and David Wright got robbed of the starting third base position, even though Sandoval hit a triple with the bases loaded. But he certainly did not deserve the third base starting position.
It seemed like there's been a lot of controversy this year with the lineup, with that whole All-Star game. You know, and shout out to my Braves, Chipper Jones. He got his little taste before he leaves.
Larry.
You know, he got a little taste before he retires. So we appreciate that. I don't know what the Braves are gonna do when he goes. I don't know how you replace that. But.
The Braves are gonna have some rebuilding to do. You know, I thought the Braves would actually be better than they are this year. I thought they would be leading the NL with the Phillies, but of course both those teams.
Yeah.
Really
pitching, man. You don't have pitching, man. Forget it.
It's like it's the same. It's the equivalent of a quarterback,
right?
Or a point guard.
Yeah.
You don't got a good one, your team is only gonna go so far.
Unless you Miami Heat.
Ask Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
And that brings us to our next topic.
The story goes on.
Such a smooth transition. It's been all kind of trades, flip-flops, you know. July 11th was the official day they could sign free agents, correct?
Yes.
So now you've been having a lot of movement. Let's start out with you guys' Knicks. There's a lot going on. The Knicks they're looking real good on paper, man.
Yeah, Knicks are looking good. I mean, me and Vinny had an argument about what will happen if Dwight Howard winds up being a Net. Which team is going to be better? I think we pretty much came to a consensus that the Knicks team would be much deeper.
Right.
Their bench would be much better if the scenario works out where they re-sign J.R. Smith, they re-sign Steve Novak, they have Lennon, you know, in the fold. They already have Jason Kidd. Marcus Camby has been the latest signing.
That's big.
Yeah.
I'm actually jealous of that. And you know what? I was talking to you guys about this earlier. You know, I'm in every sport. You know, I'm Detroit and I'm Atlanta, but I don't have much hope for either of my teams. I watch them and I'll root for them, but on a realistic side as a fan.
Both of those teams,
they're rebuilding.
I don't think the Hawks are rebuilding as much, but the Pistons definitely.
Oh yeah.
Well, you have the Red Wings, and you have the
Red Wings.
You have the Atlanta Force.
The Georgia Force.
The Georgia Force.
I'm not even a real big Force fan. Really, honestly. I mean, I watch them, and they have a few good practice squad players that we keep around for sudden injuries, but the Force is that great. They're a middling team. And I mean, you know, in that league, you don't really expect any super teams.
The Gwinnett Braves.
That is violent.
So, like I was saying, the Hawks have made a few moves. Oh, they got Lou Williams. Oh, I love that.
You did? Really?
Yeah, I love.
He came back home.
Yeah, I love that. I love Lou Williams. I love his game.
That's good.
He's what we like to call a silent killer.
Well, they needed somebody now that Joe Johnson's gone. You know, they did get John Jenkins from Vanderbilt. Who I think is going to be very good.
Yeah. And Jeff Teague needs some help. I like Teague, but he's kind of, I think, developing slower than what Atlanta anticipated.
I really didn't think that he was going to be that great player that they were trying to make him. Like, don't get me wrong, he's athletic as all hell.
Right.
You know, and it's good to have an athletic point guard in this.
He can't carry a game.
Yeah.
He's a spotty player. I think Teague is a guy you put in at certain times and he gives you a spark.
He reminds me a lot of Lou Williams, except that he doesn't have his pure shot.
I was about to say Lou Williams is a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
I would rather Lou Williams start and Teague come off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Teague would be more effective as a sixth man. I like him, and you know he had a lot of starting time last season, but it was certain times when he looked real good, and other times when he looked lost.
Right.
And he was on the floor, and it was like he didn't know who to distribute. He didn't know whether to be aggressive or whether to pass the ball. It's like, you know, the point guard, you got to kind of be definite on your role and what you're doing.
Like he was lost.
Yeah,
like Wolf.
Shots fired.
But yeah, absolutely.
The only problem I have with the Hawks this coming year is it's tough to be a championship or a contender when Jay Smooth is the best player on your side of the court.
I disagree.
I don't think
I think Al Horford is the best player.
Oh, you think? Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking at the numbers from this past.
Oh yeah. Well, Horford was hurt.
Well, that's not a good sign when a Dominican is your best player.
But hey, Horford got a nice game.
Dominican
or not, he has a nice game.
Well, you hear what everybody's trying to say. They're trying to say the Hawks give up Horford and Teague, some first round picks. They go get Dwight Howard.
That's not a bad move. Bring him back to the Abe. I'm worried about the distraction because he's from here. Southwest. Atlanta Christian.
Well, isn't his uncle like the district attorney or something?
Right. He's gonna need him.
Yeah,
So he'll stay out of trouble whether he likes it or not.
I don't know. He's a popular guy around here. Very popular.
As long as it gets this nonsense of all these trade talks over with, I want to see him go somewhere.
Well,
I think
what? Do you think he's going to be at Strokers or something?
I think he's going to get a couple more baby mamas.
Oh.
You met his first one, Royce.
Really?
Right. I wish you could see my face.
Really? He has. He's got that kind of. He's a Sean Kemp. He's a.
Oh man! I don't know if anybody's doing it like Sean Kemp anymore. But him and his baby mama have had a rough relationship. He sued her and everything.
Really?
Because she's on that whole Basketball Wives show.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Don't bring up me or our child on the show." And she did a couple times, so he sued the shit out of her. And he repoed her house, I believe.
Whoa.
The house he was paying for, he's been going hard with that. So that's why I said I don't know if he should be back here in the A because he's Mr. Nice Guy. And these girls here are extremely aggressive.
Well, if you've seen Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, you can see how ratchet it is.
He don't need to be a part of none of that. I would love, trust me, I would love Dwight Howard on the Hawks. I would love it, but I'm just worried about the outside thing. I think on the court he would be fine. Like I said, with the additions, Lou Williams, Teague. We still got to find some Devin Harris. You got a collection of guards. It's gonna be interesting to see who steps into the forefront. I would think it would be Lou Williams, but it's Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true.
But the real question is, how are they going to replace Marvin Williams?
Oh, you trying to be funny? He's going in today on me.
Well, let's look at the depth chart. After Marvin Williams, who's the next small forward in the fray? That's what it is. It's
Zaza Pachulia.
No way. If we do it like that and we get rid of Horford and Jeff Teague.
I guess T-Mac is the guy now.
Ooh, T-Mac. He's still around?
Yeah, T-Mac is still playing.
He got about a year and a half left on them legs. He played solid. I give it to him. He came in and made some big plays last season. But
he's still in the league?
He's still in the league.
Wow.
He actually resurrected himself in Atlanta.
Yeah, maybe Dominique might be available next year.
Dominique done got fat. I seen that.
Yeah, he been eating a few ribs there, man. He been in Gladys Knight's
Whenever
spot.
you wearing slacks and button-ups all the time with gold jewelry, he done got fat. He done got fat. But my other team, the Pistons, they're just a long way away. I think that team blew up the wrong way. After the championship runs and the deep playoff runs, you got rid of Chauncey, Rasheed, Ben, all in one swoop, and they thought that Jason Maxiell, Stuckey, people like that could replace the production.
They blew it up too quickly. I thought that they tried to go to rebuilding mode as soon as, they faced the Cavs and they lost to the LeBron.
When LeBron took over, it was LeBron's fault. When he took over that half, and what did he score? Like 40 points?
He went
from the fourth quarter to overtime. He scored like 40.
I think
Joe Dumars was sitting in the stands rolling up like, you know what?
I think there was a moment where everything went downhill, and that was when Darko Milicic was the number 2 pick.
You just have to dig, don't you?
Let's be honest. You could have had a team with Carmelo Anthony, Chauncey Billups. Even if you take off Carmelo, Dwayne Wade, Chauncey Billups. Take out D-Wade, Chris Bosh, Chauncey Billups.
Basically the whole Miami Heat team.
You had a chance at all those guys and you missed out. Like that draft, if you missed out on that draft.
Yeah, that Darko Milicic, that'll come back and haunt you.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those, unfortunately. But
I don't know what happened to Joe Dumars. He was really going strong for a long time.
I think he overthought it. I think he was trying to be a Rex Ryan, the smartest guy in the room. And he was like, well, I'm going to do this before they get old, before their trade value goes down. And I'm just going to...
You don't think maybe he was spending too much time around Isaiah?